And new figures out on Thursday show the U.S. economy contracted less than expected in the second quarter of the year, offering backing to those who maintain the country is not in a recession. The U.S. Commerce Department revised up its Q2 GDP, although it still represents a contraction. But with overall inflation and gasoline prices dipping, that small difference could be a huge relief for policymakers trying to keep the economy on an even keel as they attempt to cool prices. Owen Fairclough has more from Washington.
Both the Biden administration and the U.S. Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, have been besieged this year. First by the highest inflation for 40 years, and then 6 months of economic contraction that for some suggest the country is in recession. But a revision to the latest gross domestic product data is a tiny adjustment that may make a huge difference.
The government has revised second quarter GDP up from minus 0.9% to minus 0.6%. That's after first quarter GDP contracted by 1.6%. While back-to-back contractions can mean a recession by some definitions, growth is still forecast to end the year at a respectable 2.3%.
Even though that GDP revision is a fraction of a percentage, some analysts say it suggests that consumer spending is robust. Indeed, it was much higher than initially reported. And unemployment in the US remains at historic lows. So it's metrics like these that suggest the economy is likely in a much healthier position than some numbers indicate.
Even so, many investors say they're focused on whether inflation will continue to cool after it dipped from 9.1% in June to 8.5% in July.
Inflation is the number one thing that we're focused on right now. The labor market, which is typically the number one thing that we focus on, is definitely second tier.
The Fed now has to weigh up this positive GDP revision for its September meeting, when it will decide how much to raise the benchmark interest rate it's been adjusting to try to cool inflation without damaging economic growth. Owen Fairclough, CGTN, Washington.